Manchester United in the FA Cup, where United struggled. Alright, welcome to Sport Tour on Enterprise TV, where sport news from the four corners of the world are delivered at its best. I am John Olasikomi. Join me and let's ride together. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Today we'll be discussing the review of the matches that went down during the week from the MPFL to the Spanish La Liga, English Premier League, and of course Italian Serie A. Alright, well, you know how we roll, you know how we do it. We always start with the MPFL because charity begins at home. Let's talk about Shooting Stars, Aqua United and Shooting Stars unbeaten run during the week. Shooting Stars lost for the first time in 9 league outings after falling to a 2-0 defeat against Kwara United in Ilorin on Wednesday. Kabiru, Mohamed and Abdullahi scored the goals for Kwara United. Shooting Stars remain in the second position on the table despite the defeat, 8 points adrift of leaders Remo Stars. All right, before we dive into the fixtures for this weekend, let's talk about how Shooting Stars of Ibadan lost to Kwara United during the week. You know, I said something about Remo Stars, and I will still say the same thing today. I said it is done and dusted in the MPFL this 2024-2025 season. In the MPFL, I told Jerry Apello, 8 points is not a small thing in the MPFL. You all know how difficult it is to get 3 points, most especially when you are playing away from home. But he actually said something about Shooting Stars, Benga Ogunbote led side, that 8 points is just a small thing in the MPFL because they are having a game in hand. And of course, they played the game in hand on the road against Kwara United. They lost 2 goals to 9-0. Now let's do the combination and permutation of the league. 23 games played so far. They both have 15 games left to be played. Remo Stars, let's say 7 home games and of course 8 away games. I'm very sure that in Ikene, they will, out of possible 21 points, they will still manage to get at least 18 points. And let's take a look at Remo Stars away games so far. They've done like 4 games on the road. Like they've won away from home this season like 4 games. And talking about Shooting Stars, I will still play like 7 games away from home. We all know how it is for Shooting Stars this season with all the games they've played so far away from home this season. They've not been doing wonderfully well except they are playing in Ibadan. So I will still continue to say Remo Stars will definitely be crowned the champions of MPFL 2024-2025 season. Now let's take a look at the fixtures. This weekend, Eyimba will definitely host Rivers United, Kano Pillars versus Abia Warriors, Kwara United versus Bayelsa United, Lobi Stars versus Katsina United, Plateau United versus Ekanemi Warriors, Nasarawa United versus Ikorodu City. Talking about Nasarawa United, some months ago, they were deducted 3 points and 3 goals, but after 3 months of appealing, it has been reserved. So, Nasarawa United, they have their 3 points back, but that doesn't mean they are out of relegation zone. They are still there dancing at the bottom of the log table. All right, other fixtures, Sunshine Stars, we host a struggling Aqua United. There is one thing about Aqua United that really amazed me during the week. They won a game after 5 games, and the government gave them, the sports organization gave them 100,000 naira. Initially, I thought it was 100,000 naira dollars, or 100,000 naira, or 100,000 pounds. You know, for me to realize that they only give them 100,000, then something came to my mind. What do you expect Aqua United, a whole team with the medical teams, with the coach, and everybody there, with the players, more than 25 players? What do you want them to do with 100,000 naira? Come on, that's crazy. Well, it is what it is. All right, Enugu Rangers versus Remo Stars. I know the player that Benga Ogunbote will play now is Enugu. Remo Stars should lose this game against Enugu Stars. And don't also forget, Shooting Stars are also playing away from home. They will be playing Atlant. You don't know what Iman Amunike has done so far and what he's doing with Atlant. So it's going to be a tough one. For me, the biggest game this weekend will be Fidelis Ilechukwu and, of course, Remo Stars. We all remember what happened in the first leg in Ikene, whereby Fidelis Ilechukwu came out after the loss to Remo Stars, and he said Daniel Ogumodede told his boys to kick his players. We all know, all thanks to Austin Eguafor, that settled the rift between Fidelis Ilechukwu, the head coach of Enugu Rangers, and of course Daniel Ogumodede, the Remo Stars gaffer. And of course, the last game that will be going down this weekend will be the king of draw soup. We know them, Bendel Insurance at home against Niger Tornadoes. Talking about Bendel Insurance too, they were also deducted 3 points last some month ago, and after 3 months of appealing, it has been reversed. So now they have their 3 points back. After match day 23, they moved away from the relegation zone, and now they are back in the middle of the table. Good one for Bendel Insurance and, of course, Nasarawa United. All right, away from NPFL this weekend, let's move straight to the camp of the Super Eagles. Very interesting news. Super Eagles new gaffer, his name is Eric Chelle, calls on Arsenal, Chelsea, and Bolton Wanderers heroes to revive Nigeria's World Cup hopes. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chelle has enlisted the support of Nigerian football legends as he seeks to inspire his players ahead of their crucial 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria's hopes of reaching the tournament, set to be co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico, are in serious jeopardy after a disastrous start to their qualifying campaign. The Super Eagles have failed to win any of their opening 4 fixtures, drawing against Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and South Africa, while suffering a damaging defeat to Benin Republic. Now, talking about Super Eagles' road to 2026 World Cup, I'm of the opinion, so many people criticize Finidi George before he resigned as the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And we all forgotten that Jose Pesero started this whole thing. How can Jose Pesero play the draw against Lesotho? This is an embarrassing result, you know, for Nigeria, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I know we used to be the giant of Africa before, but now I can't say we are one of the best teams in Africa, in my own opinion. If you are in a group where you have the likes of Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Lesotho, even Lesotho are on top of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And now, let me quote Eric Chelle. I have invited Nigerian legends to join us in this battle, and I'm happy that they have accepted, Chelle said. He also continued to say, I want to assure Nigerians that we are going to have a good preparation for the matches, and we will do whatever it takes to be back on track. Let's take a look at the players that he reached out to. Kanu Nwankwo, Arsenal legend, Austin J.J. Okocha, John Mikel Obi, Vincent Enyama, and of course, Ahmed Musa. My own challenge with these players, the legends that he reached out to, is all these names that I just mentioned are not even into coaching. Now, according to him, he said the main reason why he reached out to them is for them to come and share the experience of what they passed through during their playing time, during their own era, the Super Eagles, you know. And of course, then I asked myself one question: what happened to the likes of Finidi George, that is into coaching? What happened to the likes of Daniel Amoka Shidibu, the likes of Emmanuel Amunike, mentioned that even the Olofichano that is into bringing in players and signing in players? They know in and out of what is happening. No disrespect to the likes of Kanu Nwankwo, Austin J.J. Okocha. I know they are football legend, but when it comes to coaching, I feel he should have gone for the likes of Finidi George and co. They are still in that line, instead of reaching out to the likes of Austin J.J. Okocha. Kanu Ahmed Musa is still playing for Kano Pillars. All right, and there is a lot of talk about Ahmed Musa being invited to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and NFL has come out to debunk the rumor that they are not imposing Ahmed Musa to Eric Chelle. So it is now left for Eric Chelle to carefully select his own team that will definitely face Rwanda on the 21st of March, and of course Zimbabwe on the 25th of March. It's a do or die affair. That is the only thing that can still make us have have the chance of making it to 2026 World Cup. That is if we get to win. I repeat, if we win against Rwanda. Well, if we lose that game, I believe it is done and dusted. We should just prepare ahead maybe for 2030 World Cup. And of course, a lot of people will not want, because we didn't go to Qatar 2022. It won't speak well for a whole country. I mean, for a big country like Nigeria. Footballing nation should miss World Cup back to back when we are not Italy. All right, away from Nigerian football, let's go straight to the world of UEFA Champions League. All right, let's talk about what happened during the week in the Champions League. UEFA Champions League knockout phase playoffs delivered a series of captivating first-leg encounters on February 11 and 12, 2025. As teams vie for a coveted spot in the round of 16, the initial matches have set the stage for high-stakes return legs. Now, let's go straight to what happened on Tuesday, most especially the biggest game that happened at the Etihad Stadium between Manchester City and, of course, Real Madrid. You all know Real Madrid. They are the biggest when it comes to UEFA Champions League. They've won it 14 times. No one come close. AC Milan, second with 7. They still have, Real Madrid will have to not participate in the next 10, 15 years. Of course. I'm not even sure this AC Milan can even go all the way to win championship like back-to-back, like what Real Madrid did in 16, 17, and 18. You know. Now, let's back to what happened in that game between Manchester City and, of course, Real Madrid. Despite the fact that Real Madrid didn't play with their regular defenders, they missed out on their best defenders, the likes of Rudiger, the likes of Cavalla, David Alaba, and Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti has come out to say there is every tendency that the likes of Rudiger and Alaba will definitely, Cavalla will definitely be back for the second leg. And now at the Etihad, another big blow for Pep Guardiola. Manuel Akanji has been out for this game at the Santiago Bernabeu. And of course, maybe a piece of advice for Erling Haaland. He should be very, very careful, because at some point when Real Madrid were trailing, he went ahead, you don't know him, you told them once again to stay humble. And we also saw the whole thing that happened at the Etihad Stadium, whereby we saw a banner of which the Manchester City fans, where they were trolling the young man from Brazil. His name is Vinicius Junior. And they say the rest is history. 2-3, they lost at home at the Etihad Stadium. And of course, in France, Brest were defeated by Paris Saint-Germain, the biggest team in Italian Serie A. And there's no even talk about the form of Ousmane Dembele. Ever since he left Barcelona, he has been doing wonderfully well for himself. We all know him to be an injury-prone player, but for now, Ousmane Dembele has gone 10 games without being injured. And take a look at his form. In 8 games, 14 goals, both in French League 1 and, of course, in the Champions League. Ousmane Dembele scored an hat-trick and, of course, a brace in the UEFA Champions League. Come on. Let's give kudos to the young man from France, Ousmane Dembele. And, of course, in Italy, at the Allianz Stadium, this is a big mountain for Juventus to climb. They defeated PSV Eindhoven 2-1. At Allianz Stadium. They will definitely be going to Holland next week. Let's see how that one will definitely pounce out. And of course, Sporting CP lost at home to Borussia Dortmund, the team that I do tag as an academy team. You know what they've done so far in terms of raising players, and of course, they allow them to go and join big team in Europe. And now let's take a look at the matches that also went down on Wednesday. Club Brugge defeated Atalanta. I just want to believe that Atalanta, Gasperini is really missing the Super Eagles forward in person of Ademola Lookman. They've been finding it so difficult, to win games since the young man got injured. Monaco also lost at home to Benfica. And of course, in Scotland, Celtic lost to Bayern Munich. And when I was watching that match, I mean Celtic against Bayern Munich, and I was nodding my head. This is not the Bayern Munich that we used to know. The Bayern Munich of Arjen Robben, I mean Frank Ribery, Robert Lewandowski, the Philip Lahm of this world, and they struggled against a Scottish team. Celtic, no disrespect to Celtic, once you are playing the Champions League, you are the best in your own league. But when it comes to where all of them meet, I don't see the likes of, a Celtic competing and giving, Bayern Munich a run for their money. Well, it is what it is. Football is evolving. That is what they say. Now, we have to see the likes of, Musiala doing it for them, Coleman, and of course, all inconsistent footballers. All right, the last game that went down in the UEFA Champions League on Wednesday is Feyenoord against AC Milan. A warm welcome for the man called Jimenez. He was transferred from Feyenoord during the January transfer window, of course, to AC Milan. And of course, it is what it is. He lost at his own home, that ground used to be his ground before, but of course, AC Milan lost to Feyenoord 1-0. All right, away from UEFA Champions League, let's move straight to UEFA Europa League, where Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce won 3-0 at home to Anderlecht in the first leg of the Europa League knockout phase. Playoff tie on Thursday, while Real Sociedad triumphed 2-1 away to FC Midtjylland. Let's talk about Europa League and of course Jose Mourinho. This is one of the greatest coach of all time that I've seen in my own life. Talking about Jose Mourinho. He has won this cup with FC Porto in the year 2023. He also won it during his spell at Manchester United in 2017, where nobody will ever forget how Jose Mourinho won it at United with several players injured. Like 7 of them came to the field on the final day with their own clutches and all. And this same Jose Mourinho, still in the Europa League, he will definitely give the likes of Manchester United, Roma, Porto a run for their money. Let's take a look at other results. FC Midtjylland lost at home to Real Sociedad. Fenerbahce defeated Anderlecht 3-0. Ferencváros defeated Victoria Plzen. Union Saint-Gilloise lost at home to Ajax. AZ Alkmaar defeated Galatasaray, and of course, are they missing our own Victor James Osimhen? He wasn't part of the team that played during the week due to a suspension. He should be back in their next game at home. But can they turn it around? That is the question. Why can you go away and lose 4-1? It's very difficult for Galatasaray to turn it around in the second leg. And the biggest game in the UEFA Europa League is Porto versus Roma. It ended in a stalemate, 1-1 against Ranieri's side, Roma. We all know how Porto has been struggling so far this season. FC Twente defeated Bodo Glimt 2-1, and of course, PAOK FC lost at home to FCSB, formerly known as Steaua Bucharest. All right, away from UEFA Europa League, let's move straight to EPL fixtures, matches that will be going down this weekend. Let's do the preview of the matches. All right, Leicester City versus Arsenal. And of course, another big blow for Mikel Arteta. I remember a lot of people were shouting, most especially Arsenal fans, were shouting during the January transfer window that Mikel Arteta should sign a striker for them. And now Kai Havertz, the only man that Mikel Arteta trusts so much, has been out of this season. So who is going to fill in that gap of Kai Havertz this weekend? It's going to be a long day for all Arsenal fans and of course Mikel Arteta. And talking about Leicester City, we all know how they've been struggling, and Van Nistelrooy came out yesterday and he said something about Wilfred Ndidi. Ndidi is back and he's so happy. We also saw what he did against Manchester United in the FA Cup, where United struggled. United won. All thanks to VR. There was no VR on that day, and of course a lot of talks on Harry Maguire's second goal that knocked out Leicester City. All right, Aston Villa versus Ipswich Town. Aston Villa has been doing wonderfully well for themselves, and of course they also lost John Duran to Al Nassr, and he's been doing well alongside Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia. Fulham will definitely host informed Nottingham Forest that have been competing, for the top four this season. The likes of Chris Woods and co has been doing wonderfully for themselves, and of course this young man from Nigeria, Ola, Gibbs White, a lot of them, mention them, they've been doing well for Nottingham Forest this season. How can we not talk about their coach? No, Espirito Santo has also been awesome. He also bagged the manager of the month for January. Kudos to the young man, to the big man himself. All right, Manchester City versus Newcastle United. City at home against Newcastle United. I just said something about the injury blow. Talking about Manuel Akanji, they will definitely miss him again this weekend against Newcastle United. And there is this talk on Manchester United about their players from the midfield, their midfielders and of course their defenders. They've been making series of mistakes. We saw it against Arsenal, against Real Madrid. If this thing should continue against a team like Newcastle United, that have one of the best strikers in the EPL, talking about Alexander Isak right now, is going to be a long day for Pep Guardiola. And of course, if care is not taken, City might definitely get punished if Pep Guardiola refused to do something about all these mistakes that is happening at City presently. And of course, there is no way we won't talk about Erling Haaland. He's still one of the best strikers in the world, whether we like it or not. Whether you do tell us to stay humble here and there. But it is what it is. The biggest game happens to definitely be Manchester City versus Newcastle United. Other fixtures, we have Southampton at home against informed Bournemouth, West Ham versus Brentford, Crystal Palace. We definitely host David Moyes' side, Everton, and of course Liverpool at home at the Anfield against Wolverhampton Wanderers. We also what happened during the week in the during the Merseyside derby between Everton and of course Liverpool. I know maybe that's the main reason why Jerry Apello is not in the studio this wonderful afternoon. We saw what happened. The match ended 2-2. And a lot of talks concerning Michael Oliver with the wrong course. At some point we were all expecting Everton player to be sent off, for what he did to Liverpool player. At the same time, we saw what happened with Konate too. Also, he also did another foul in the box 18, but Michael Oliver didn't look at all these things. But one thing that I told all Liverpool fans after the game was, have you forgotten last season when you people came out to criticize the referee, and since then it has been favoring Liverpool. So if a thing like it happen, you just have to let it slide. In that same match, Arne Slot also saw red card. He was also sent off in that game. But let's see whether Liverpool will definitely bounce back, because they are now 7 points ahead of Arsenal Football Club. So Liverpool at home against inconsistent Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'll still go with Liverpool, Mo Salah is still there, and of course the likes of Luis Diaz, Godi Capo, Diogo Jota will definitely get this one right this weekend. Of course, on Sunday we'll be seeing Tottenham at home against Manchester United. Talking about Tottenham, you know how Tottenham can be. Win today, lose tomorrow. They are not consistent. And of course, at the same time, Manchester United, we don't even know whether we should trust the process or the team is just too big for what is his name, Ruben Amorim. Because a lot of talk on Ruben Amorim. He allowed this young man from Brazil to leave for Real Betis, Anthony. And ever since the guy has been, ever since he left for Real Betis in Spain, he has been doing well for himself. Man of the match, back-to-back in the Europa League. He also, Conference League, he also scored for Real Betis. So it's going to be a 50-50 game between Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United. All right, going down tonight is going to be the match between Brighton and Hove versus Chelsea Football Club. Another big blow for Enzo Maresca. The man called Nicholas Jackson will be out for at least a month. And don't also forget, this same Brighton knocked out Chelsea out of FA Cup. And I'm not surprised, because in the beginning of the season, Enzo Maresca came out. He said they are not competing for the league. They just want to win. They just want to get the 3 points. And now we've seen them. Although they are still doing well for themselves, Champions League football is still certain. That is if they continue in this great form. And a lot of Chelsea fans have been criticizing Maresca again. I don't know what you want from the what you want from the young man that just came back from Championship last season. All right, away from English Premier League, let's move straight to La Liga Santander, where Osasuna will definitely host Real Madrid. Let's see whether Real Madrid will definitely continue in their momentum. They went away from home. They went to England. They defeated the biggest team in England as we speak right now. Right now, I repeat, the biggest team in the English Premier League right now happens to be Manchester City. They've won how many league? Pep Guardiola has won the league like 4 times in a row. So what are we talking about? All right, and of course they'll be playing away from home against Osasuna this weekend. Let's see how it goes. Atletico Madrid versus Celta Vigo, and of course Barcelona versus Rayo Vallecano. Talking about La Liga Santander, let's take a look at the table. It's just 1 point between these 3 big teams in the Spanish La Liga. Real Madrid leading Atletico Madrid with 1 point, and of course Atletico Madrid are also leading Barcelona with 1 point. So they want to do their best to make sure they get the 3 points this weekend so as to maintain the same gap. If Madrid get to lose away from home, they might definitely drop to number 3 on the log table. So Carlo Ancelotti want to do everything to make sure that he definitely get this one against Osasuna this weekend. All right, away from Spanish La Liga, let's move straight to Bundesliga. VfL Bochum versus Borussia Dortmund, and of course the biggest one this weekend in Bundesliga will definitely be Bayer Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich. Talking about Bayer Leverkusen, you all know how they've been struggling. This season we're all expecting them to repeat what they did last season, that they went unbeaten to win the league. And of course there is Bayern Munich that will not want to give them that hope again this weekend. This time around, Bayern Munich are on top of the log table. They are leading them with 8 points. So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for Xabi Alonso's side if he definitely wants to kick up. And of course in Italian Serie A, whereby Napoli are still on top of the log table. They are leading Inter Milan, the defending champions, by 9 points. Should we say it is done and dusted in Italian Serie A? Alright, that is how much I can take on Sport Talk on Enterprise TV. Endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are at Enterprise TV 7 on YouTube. Click the notification bell to get alerts on our new YouTube videos. Follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at Enterprise TV 7 on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Like, share, and engage with our content, and also visit our website www.enterprisetvnews.com, where we give you all the hot stories on the go, the live updates, the exclusives, and the news you can use. Thanks for watching.
Enterprise TV, a traditional Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.